Today we're going to be looking at the EXG 480X. Just going to show you some features around it and get it hooked up. First of all, we've just hooked up to the tractor, so it's just a standard PDO shaft, hydraulics in. Once you've got that all hooked up, simply pull that back, roll your roller out. This goes from transport to working position. Once you then have that out, put this leg down to stop this from coming backwards. The next job to do as you go past is probably get your knife ready. I simply up there, and that pin goes in there. We make sure that our roller, that's in a freewheel position. We just make sure that that is locked and into our working mode. Once we're around to this side, and the hydraulics are going inside the tractor, we make sure that we have the lever locked inside the tractor. So it's got charge all the time, and all your functions are down here at ground level. So we want to get the auger out. Now on the end of that auger, there is also a chute that if you want to get further away from the bag, you can also flip that over. It gives you a bit more room on the side of the bag if you're using 10-foot bags. To check that your roller is engaged, so to engage your roller and then make sure everything is spinning the correct direction. You can also speed it up or slow it down by using this knob. That slows it right down. So you'll alter that when you're working inside the bag. So now we know that's working. Your next function is the height. So we've driven it down the road, so come to the next place here. So we want to make sure it's up. We pull this out. This is a transport chock. There's a bit of a safety chock. Pull that out. Then you can check heights within your machine. So what I like to do is drop the machine and make sure when you get close to the ground that your pusher plate and your cages are very similar heights to the ground. Now this actually can be quite important, because if for some reason you have a really low drawbar or high drawbar, this can alter this a bit. So what you can do then is, if for example the sweeps at the back are higher off the ground and your pusher plate is almost touching, sometimes you can adjust the pusher plate height to help you out with that. So at the moment we've got that in its lowest position, so we can get everything lower to the ground, which works well for this tractor. The next feature is your pusher plate. So at the moment we've got that retracted right back in. Just check that it all works before you get into the bag. I'll just show you how we sort of open it up. These bags have all been sealed with a sealer, a heat sealer. Now we got it in the bag, we'll show you how to the process of actually unloading. So, first things we will need to look at is the speed of our roller. We want to make sure our PDO speed is also up in the tractor. That's very important. Then we click your roller in, have it going a bit slower to start with, and then speed it up as you need to a little bit until you start to match up what you need. As we're getting going, we just want to check. With this one, I like to have the pusher plate almost all the way back in, but you just want it so it's got a slight gap or just touching the bag, which you can probably see if you look under there. And around about that height off the ground. Your knife is the other thing to watch. It looks like it's going okay now. If you happen to see or get grain coming really high up here into the roller, at the moment the grain's down here, that's good. If you're getting it up there, your roller is too fast. So slow your roller down to let it catch up. The other thing to really watch is also how straight we are. At the moment we're too far one way, so we'll slowly bring the tractor across and to match it up. I'll actually knock this out of gear at the moment, just to stop the roller. I'll go and jump in the tractor and move it forward, and we'll go right to the back of the bin, and then we should be able to get a fair bit of it in one more movement. And when our truck or our chaser bin's getting full, we want to stop, knock that out. As you can see, it's filling up, and let it run out a little bit before you turn your PDO off, and then you won't have so much pressure on it when you go to take off. Alright, now we're getting to the end of this. We just got to watch this. We'll let it bust out the end. Then we might need to just slice it a little bit to help it along, so it doesn't bunch up in around your auger. Sometimes it'll just tear away nicely. If it does, let it do its thing. What we want to aim to do is probably pull it firm around the cages. We can also stop your roller at that point. We can actually drop your height a little bit more, so you know it'll pick up a little bit more, and push your pusher blade out. That'll let more fall back into the sweep augers. And just sort of have a look. It's going pretty good. You can give the corners a bit of a shake if you like. That one. What you can actually do to even get a little bit more out is lift your height all the way up. Let it fall down and then drop it again. We can leave your pusher plate out and wind a bit more. You can either wind until it breaks around the cage, or I usually like to leave it intact. As you can see, that's pulling tight around the cage. I would probably stop at that point. Then you actually can turn your PDO off. Then you can lift it all the way up. And let's see if that bag's off the ground. You can actually take that to the next bag if you have another one to do. And then cut it on the start of the next one. That way you have no cleanup work at all in this particular bag. But if we were to cut that now, there'd be about I'd say a wheelbarrow load of grain left in there.